When it comes to the inner world of men, most people think they already know the story. Power, money, success, attraction. That's the box society puts them in. But here's the twist. What men secretly long for is almost never what you expect. It's not about flashy cars, sculpted bodies, or being the strongest in the room. Deep down, there's a hidden fantasy. One so emotional and human that most men never dare to say it out loud. And once you understand it, you'll never look at men the same way again. Before I dive deeper, if you're curious about these hidden truths that most people never talk about, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. Because the more you understand these secret layers, the more powerful your connections and relationships can become. Now here's the fascinating part. Men almost never talk about this desire. Why? Because they've been taught since childhood that strength means silence, that showing emotions equals weakness, and that masculinity is measured by achievements, not feelings. That conditioning builds invisible walls around their hearts. But the longing doesn't disappear, it just hides. And when you really pay attention, you'll see that their fantasy isn't about material things. It's about something far deeper. It's about feeling truly seen and valued, beyond all the expectations placed on them. Imagine this. Every single day, a man is expected to provide, protect, stay confident, and never bend under pressure. Even when he's tired, even when he's scared, even when he feels like he's breaking inside. His secret fantasy? To find a space where he doesn't have to perform, prove, or pretend. A place where he can finally breathe and simply be himself. That's the dream most men carry in silence. And if you're finding this eye-opening, don't forget, tap that subscribe button. Seriously, you don't want to miss out, because we go even deeper into the hidden psychology of men, women, and relationships in every new video. The truth is, many men are experts at hiding this longing. You'll see them laugh, lead, and act like nothing touches them. But inside, they dream of being vulnerable without losing respect. They crave someone who can look past the mask, who sees the sadness behind the smile, who understands the silence without forcing words. That's not a fantasy you'll see in movies. It's quiet, powerful, and life-changing. And here's where it gets really interesting. Once this hidden desire is fulfilled, everything else in a man's life shifts. His stress eases, his confidence grows, and his love deepens. Why? Because he no longer feels like he's fighting the world alone. He finally feels understood at the deepest level. And that changes everything. So if this perspective has you rethinking what men truly want, hit that subscribe button right now and join our growing community. Together, we're uncovering truths that most people overlook. And trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. Another powerful and often unspoken fantasy men carry is the deep desire to be admired, not for what they do, but for who they are. From the time a boy grows into a man, the world tells him that his worth is measured in achievements, strength, and how well he provides. But here's the hidden truth most people never talk about. What he secretly longs for is simple, yet profound: to be valued as a person. Think about it. Men are rarely praised for their kindness, their loyalty, or the quiet sacrifices they make every single day. Over time, this creates a hunger inside of them, a longing to finally hear words that say, "I see you, I admire you, I appreciate you, not for your money, not for your success, not for your strength, but for who you are at your core." And if you're finding this perspective eye-opening already, pause for a second and hit that subscribe button. Because what we're uncovering here are the truths no one else talks about. And you don't want to miss what comes next. Now here's the fascinating part. Most men will never ask for admiration openly. They fear it makes them look insecure or needy. So instead, they joke about it, they hide it, or they just keep working harder, hoping someone will notice. But inside, every man wants to feel like a hero, not the kind of hero who always saves the day with big moves, but the quiet hero who is seen, respected, and valued for simply being himself. When a man finally receives admiration that is genuine, something changes in him. His shoulders feel lighter, his confidence grows, his love deepens. He doesn't just feel like a provider anymore. He feels like a human being who matters. And here's the secret. Admiration builds a bond stronger than attraction, because it touches the deepest part of his identity. If you've ever wondered what really drives a man's heart, this is it. And trust me, there's more. So make sure you're subscribed right now, because the next part might surprise you even more. Deep inside, many men carry another dream they almost never share. The desire to be cared for without having to ask. Think about how powerful that is. Most men live their whole lives in the role of the giver. The one who fixes problems, pays the bills, carries the heavy burdens. And while they do it with pride, it often leaves them invisible. Their secret longing is for someone to notice their exhaustion and step in with care without waiting for them to request it. Can you imagine how healing that would feel for a man? To come home, drop the mask of toughness, and have someone simply say, "Sit down, I'll take care of you tonight." To have someone rub his shoulders after a long day, make him a cup of tea, or just listen when he feels tired. To most men, these gestures feel like gold. And if this resonates with you, if you've ever wondered what men wish they could say out loud, but don't, this channel is exactly where you belong. Tap that red subscribe button right now, because together we're peeling back the layers of what the world usually ignores. Here's the thing. Men rarely admit this fantasy because they're told that needing care is weakness. So they keep pushing, keep caring, keep pretending. But inside, there's a quiet craving to be nurtured. To know they don't always have to be the strong one. To finally feel balanced instead of constantly giving without receiving. And when this fantasy becomes reality, when a man experiences genuine care without having to ask, something powerful shifts. His heart softens. His stress lightens. He becomes more affectionate, more open, and more willing to share his inner world. Because suddenly he feels safe. He realizes he doesn't have to fight life alone anymore. That's why this fantasy, though rarely spoken, is one of the deepest desires men carry. And when it's fulfilled, it doesn't just change him. It transforms his relationships, his love, and even the way he sees himself. So if you want to keep uncovering these hidden truths about the male heart, the things most people never say out loud, hit that subscribe button now and stay with me. Because the journey we're on is only getting deeper, and you don't want to miss where it's headed next. Have you ever wondered what really goes on in the quiet corners of a man's heart? What are those secret wishes, the ones he may never say out loud, even to the people closest to him? Well, one of the most powerful hidden fantasies men carry isn't about money, status, or even attraction. It's about something much deeper. It's the longing to be fully accepted, flaws and all. From a very young age, men are taught that they need to earn approval. They're told to be strong, to succeed, to hold everything together no matter what. They hear phrases like "real men don't cry," "failure makes you weak," or "you gotta be tough." Over the years, these messages become armor. And while that armor may look like confidence or strength from the outside, on the inside, it often hides fear. The fear that if someone truly saw their imperfections, they wouldn't be worthy of love. But beneath that fear lies a very quiet dream. A dream of finding someone who sees everything. The scars, the insecurities, the failures, and still says, "I love you not in spite of your flaws, but with them." Can you imagine how powerful that is? For a man to finally let go of the mask, to drop the performance, and to simply be himself without worrying about losing respect? That's not just a fantasy. It's freedom. And if you're enjoying this insight, don't forget, hit that subscribe button right now. Because we're diving even deeper into the hidden side of men's hearts. And you don't want to miss what's coming next. You see, for men, acceptance isn't about wanting an excuse to make mistakes or escape responsibility. It's not about lowering standards. Instead, it's about being able to admit weakness without shame. Think about it. How many men laugh when they're hurting, stay silent when they're afraid, or pretend to be confident when they're full of doubt? They long for the chance to show those hidden sides and still be loved, not less, but even more. That kind of acceptance doesn't just heal, it transforms. Because when a man realizes he no longer has to constantly fight for approval, something shifts inside him. He relaxes. He breathes differently. He shows up with more loyalty, more devotion, more depth. And that connection, it goes far beyond surface attraction. It creates a love that is unshakable. And let's be honest, doesn't that make you curious? If this is just one fantasy, what else is tucked away, quietly shaping how men love, connect, and dream? Stay with me here and make sure you're subscribed. Because we're not done yet. Another secret many men carry is the fantasy of being someone's safe place. On the surface, people assume men only crave admiration or respect or maybe desire. But deep down, Men want something far more meaningful. They want to be the one you turn to when life feels too heavy. They want to be more than providers of material comfort. They want to be anchors of emotional safety. Imagine how powerful it feels for a man to hear, "I feel safe with you." Those words strike straight to his core because they tell him he's not just present, he's significant. He's not just wanted, he's trusted. And that trust means more than all the titles, money, or trophies in the world. This fantasy isn't about control or dominance. It's about purpose. Men live in a world that constantly tells them to compete, achieve, and prove themselves. But when he knows he's your safe place, none of that outside noise matters anymore. His worth is no longer tied to what he does, but to who he is. And that's huge, because the truth is, most men won't say this out loud. They'll laugh it off, make jokes, or bury themselves in work. But deep inside, they crave it. They crave that sacred role, the role of being the person you lean on when you don't have the strength to stand on your own. Now pause for a moment and think about this. If men are carrying fantasies this deep and emotional, doesn't it make you wonder how many more there are? How many unspoken truths shape their relationships every single day? If you're nodding your head right now, curious to hear the rest, go ahead and click subscribe. Because these are the kinds of conversations we explore all the time. And trust me, you want to hear them. Here's the thing. When a man becomes someone's safe place, he transforms. He becomes more protective, more affectionate, more grounded. Why? Because he knows his role isn't temporary. It isn't casual. It's sacred. He has become irreplaceable. And for him, that means more than wealth, more than success, more than anything else life could offer. At the end of it all, men's secret fantasies aren't about power or glory. They're not about flashy cars, big houses, or endless praise. They're about something much softer, much more human. They're about wanting to be understood without having to explain. About being admired for who they truly are, not just for what they achieve. About being cared for without asking. About being fully accepted despite flaws. And about being the one person who makes someone else feel safe in this chaotic world. And maybe that's the real lesson here. Men are human, too. They have the same need for love, security, and acceptance that we all do. They've just been taught to bury it, to hide it behind silence and strength. But when you peel back the armor, when you look past the surface, you find a heart that quietly longs for the same things we all do: love, connection, and acceptance. So the next time you wonder what a man really wants, remember this. He doesn't just want admiration. He doesn't just want desire. Deep down, he wants something far more powerful. He wants to feel safe enough to be himself. He wants to be loved, not for the image he projects, but for the truth of who he is. And if this conversation has opened your eyes even just a little, then I have to remind you one more time. Don't forget to subscribe. Because by doing that, you're not just keeping up with new videos. You're joining a community where we talk openly, honestly, and without judgment about the parts of human nature that most people keep hidden. So hit that red button. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. And let's keep exploring these truths together. Because when we do, we not only understand men better, we understand ourselves better, too.